What's up everyone? Today I'm going to talk about what I wish I knew before I went to university for engineering. There are so many things I wish I knew before I started university, and hopefully by making this video, sharing some of what I've experienced and some realizations that I've had, I'll be able to help out at least one person and better prepare them for what's in store for the next 4 years. 1. It's going to be a lot harder than you think it is. I knew that engineering was going to be difficult. Everybody was warning me, hey, look out, it's going to be hard. And I was like, yeah, okay. But in the back of my mind, I was like, it can't possibly be that hard. I'm like an amazing A+ student in high school. There's no way it'll be that hard. And well, first term, I was right. It wasn't that hard. I had some fun, work hard, play hard kind of situation. And then second term came around. After a great first semester, the second semester crushed me, and so did the third semester. My fourth semester was actually my best one yet, and then fifth and sixth semesters, I don't even want to talk about. I don't really remember what happened. I did okay in my third year, but I was definitely underprepared for the monster that it was. The moral here is that however hard you think it's going to be, just multiply that by at least 5, and that's how hard it's actually going to be. It's really important to not get cocky or complacent, and to make sure that you're following some of the tips I'll give you towards the end of the video. Number 2, making friends will be hard. Generally speaking, the types of people who are going into engineering are usually introverted and antisocial, just like myself. So if you want to make friends, it's going to be up to you to go out of your way to talk to a particular person. I know this might sound kind of childish and dumb, but it's true. Everyone is too caught up in their own world to care about what other people are doing around them, so it's usually up to you to start a conversation. And if you're scared of doing this, like I was and still am, I would recommend joining a club where you share similar interests with people and you can get the conversation started that way. Or, crazy concept, you can talk to your classmates about something that you're learning. It's also important to realize that most of the time your peers are also looking to make friends. Most people will be happy to have a quick conversation with you, and if they're not, then just try someone else. Number 3. Missing class isn't the end of the world. I'm the type of person who's super anal about going to every single class. But there are classes where you can genuinely learn a lot faster by just watching some pre-recorded modules or reading from the textbook yourself. It's also totally okay to miss class if you have other priorities. Sometimes there's an event that'll only happen once, or you want to skip a Friday lecture to have a 3-day weekend. Most of the time, you should just do it. There are always going to be more classes and more school to go to, but some of these events are one-time things, and you aren't even going to remember going to class, so you may as well go out and try and have some fun. These events and experiences are probably going to be the only things you will remember from university. Personally, I'm still working on this myself because I hate to miss class, so recently I've been really trying to remind myself of all the good things that have come from being spontaneous, and that every time I've missed 1 or 2 classes, it wasn't the end of the world. 4. Get a good bike lock. This one is kind of just for people who ride bicycles a lot like myself, but seriously, do yourself a favor and spend a lot of money on a really good bike lock. I've had 2 bikes stolen in 2 years on campus, and it sucks. One of those bikes was really expensive, and I didn't register it, so the police and the campus security could do literally nothing to help me. So do yourself a favor, learn from my mistakes, and don't let your bike get stolen. Number 5. Go to clubs or events even if you're studying for a test. This one might be a little bit controversial, but let's say that you have an evening of about 6 hours of studying ahead of you and your club is supposed to meet in the middle of that study time. Don't skip that meeting to study. I can almost guarantee you that you aren't going to gain anything from an extra hour of cramming right before your test. And by taking your mind off of studying, you're actually giving your brain time to subconsciously work through problems. So once your meeting is over and you come back to studying, you might actually have some solutions to the things that were confusing you before. And on top of it, you won't fry your brain right before a test by studying nonstop for 6 hours. Number 6. Go out sometimes. This one's important, and it kind of relates to the making friends one. I am really good at coming up with reasons to not go out. Then what naturally happens is I sit at home and start to feel miserable because I'm getting nowhere in my studying and I should have just gone out to have some fun. This doesn't mean that you have to go to a party and drink till you hit the floor or do some crazy drugs. I'm just saying be willing to hang out with people and to meet new people. If you go somewhere and it turns out you really don't like being there, You can just leave. Most of the time, people will appreciate you being there just for a little while to have a conversation with them. It's also important to realize that you won't ever be able to live a life that doesn't involve other people, so you may as well get used to having conversations and talking to new people. However and wherever you want to choose that is completely up to you. Number 7. You probably won't get the right meal plan. This is another kind of funny one, but it came up in conversation with my girlfriend, so here it is. If you plan to live on a residence and the university makes you order a meal plan, you probably won't get the right one. What do I mean? Well, when I was in first year, I managed to blow through the meal plan I ordered in 5 months rather than the 8 months it was supposed to last me. So in hindsight, I wish that I had gotten the tier up because it probably would have lasted me at least a few more months. Blowing through my meal plan was 100% my fault because I didn't budget my money. In my situation, the university just loaded money onto a student card and you would just swipe it at the cash register, and it really didn't feel like you were spending any real money. So my recommendation is to figure out how much you should be spending and try to track it as best as you can. That being said, you might also get a meal plan that's too big. I eat a lot, but someone like my girlfriend doesn't. She got the lowest tier meal plan and it still took her more than a year to get through it, even with me helping to spend some of her money. So my recommendation here is pretty straightforward. If you eat a lot, get the most expensive one. If you don't eat a lot, get the cheapest one. Problem solved. Number 8. Make sure you have a routine. This goes mainly for waking up and doing those things that you'll completely forget about when you're busy focusing on classes. Some of these activities might include hanging out with your friends, working out or exercising, and remembering to eat. Waking up at an inconsistent time every day can ruin your momentum and really make it hard to stay motivated when things get difficult. Also, forgetting or consciously allowing yourself to not exercise is probably one of the worst things you can do. Exercising helps your mental health by keeping you sane and taking you away from your studies from time to time. And it also makes sure that you stay physically healthy by not allowing your body to get completely attacked by the freshman 15. Number 9. Do your homework, preferably all of it. If you got away with not doing anything in high school and still managed to get by, you're in for a disappointment. You simply won't pass university if you don't take time before and after your classes to not only understand what you are learning, but to also practice the problems that you will see on a test. This being said, it's important to remember to not spend multiple hours a day studying the same subject. Get really good at switching between subjects and not focusing on one problem for too long. I've personally found this to be the most efficient method to learn what you need to and not waste any of your time. University is all about efficiency and retaining information in a short period of time. The semester absolutely flies by. So you have to give yourself the best chance possible by retaining only the information that you need and nothing more. If you slack off and decide not to do any practice problems outside of the classroom, you will probably fail that course, trust me. I've been so close to failing just because I got a little bit lazy. And once you've started to dig a hole for yourself, it's extremely difficult to get back out of it when half a semester has flown by and you haven't really done much. I also know a lot of my friends who actually did fail courses, so it can really happen to anyone. So moral of the story is to not just do your homework, but also study well. In fact, I've actually made an entire video about study tips and how you can get a really high GPA, so if you need that information, I got you covered. Number 10. Life doesn't stop just because you started university. This one is really important, and I wish that somebody had encouraged me earlier to not allow myself to get completely consumed by classes and studying. Yes, the classes you're taking might be hard, but that doesn't mean that you can't spare 5 hours a week to do some volunteering or to join a club or a committee, or even to work a part-time job. We need variety in life to feel refreshed. It is important to remember that employers in grad school will want to see that you have volunteer or work experience, and working or volunteering can be a great way to line up future references or get reference letters when you need to apply to grad school. The earlier you start doing these things and the more consistent you are with them, the better it looks on a resume and the more likely you are to get a job once you graduate. It's important to remember that you are still studying, so don't take something that will completely overwhelm you, like working 20 hours a week. Number 11. Talk to your professors. This is a big one. If you don't know the answer to something and you've been working on it for a really long time, send an email to your TAs or professors or go visit them at their office hours. Most professors do want to see their students succeed, but they're also really busy people, so you have to go out of your way to get the answers that you want. Most, if not all of the professors I've ever talked to are super willing to help out their students. It can be intimidating, and maybe you're worried that the question you ask will make you sound dumb, but the literal reason you're going to school is to learn. You're not supposed to know everything yet. So make sure to use and abuse these resources, and it's also good to build relationships with professors or TAs, because you never know when you might need someone to write you a reference letter or vouch for you as a good student. In conclusion, university is a hard transition, and there are a lot of things I wish I knew 3 years ago. But if you get good at just a few of the things on this list, you will already be doing so much better than a lot of other people. One final tip is to not compare yourself to your classmates. Everyone learns differently, and even the people who seem like they have it figured out are probably still just as confused as you are. Don't forget to take care of yourself and socialize from time to time. University is a lot harder than high school, but don't let it intimidate you. Make a plan, stick to it, and you'll be okay. You got this. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and leave a comment down below. I'll see you in the next one. Whoosh.